Meditation is the cure for a lot of what we deal with in our modern, fast-paced lifestyles. People have really shit attention spans and they have elevated levels of anxiety as they go throughout their day. People also give in to their immediate impulses, and that sort of stuff is usually bad for us because it's the rewarding short-term stuff like scrolling on your phone or junk food or whatever that may be. The way that we combat this is with mindfulness, which is just essentially thinking rationally throughout your day to make the best decisions. Rather than where you kind of float about, you're in a bit of a haze, not being that aware. Rational thinking is where you're actually using the best of your cognitive abilities. It's when you're in like a social flow and everything just seems to be running smoothly. We become more mindful by using our prefrontal cortex instead of our amygdala. Amygdala is like our caveman brain. It's the oldest part of our brain. It developed to keep us alive and safe. Thousands of years ago, when our ancestors encountered predators, having that amygdala signal danger meant that they would stay alive because they would stay away from the danger. However, in our modern day, we're fairly safe, and so we don't need this old hardware as much. We have a newer system called the prefrontal cortex in our brain. This is responsible for rational thinking, and if we use it more, then we make more educated, better decisions that are better for our modern day. Your amygdala being overactive will make you anxious and make bad decisions and be in a kind of floating haze, whereas the prefrontal cortex will make you happier, more present, and more inclined to spend time with loved ones, do productive stuff. There are ways that we can rewire our brain to use the prefrontal cortex instead of the amygdala, and the one that I'm going to talk about today is meditation. So how can we actually meditate to become more mindful? Well, step one is just find a comfy spot where you can relax. I suggest the typical pose, which is sitting cross-legged like this. If you're just lying in bed, it's a bit too much like a nap, and being cross-legged kind of forces you to stay somewhat alert and use your brain more. I like having my back supported, and a beanbag is great for this. You can also put pillows on the floor or against the wall and then lean against that. Just a place where you can sit like this comfy for a couple minutes at a time. The practice that we're going to do is focus on the sensations of our breath and of our body. When you sit there, close your eyes and try to be present and just focus on your breath going in and out. Your brain is going to generate thoughts. Now, an important distinction is that these thoughts are not you, because you can choose how to perceive thoughts. Sometimes your brain can be your best friend, sometimes it can be your worst enemy. When you're having anxiety, it's being your worst enemy. It's putting thoughts into your head that aren't you, because you can say, no, I'm not going to listen to that. So you'll sit there, you'll be focusing on your breath, and one of these thoughts will pop into your head. It's your job to notice that you've gotten a thought, and then let go of it, stop thinking about it, and return your thought to your breath. We want to be super mindful, so feel the air coming in through your nose, feel your chest expanding, notice the effect that it's having on your body. What this means is that you'll be going throughout your day, and you'll get an impulse to pull your phone out. This is like a thought that your brain has put into itself. And when you do this repeatedly, you can go, no, I'm not going to give in to that impulse. You get to have your own judgment. That's what being mindful is. You use your mind to make decisions. This means you won't just pull your phone out of habit, and you'll feel more happy just doing nothing, being at peace. People have impulses like pulling the phone out because they're not comfortable just being alone with their own thoughts. This is literally training, like in the gym. We're training our brain to be okay with zero stimulation. You also really want to focus on your body. So literally go from toe to head and think, how do my feet feel? How do my legs feel? And my ribs? A lot of people carry around pains and tension, which almost goes by the wayside because you're not being present and focusing on it. What does it mean to have tension in a place? People have tension in their shoulders because they sort of walk around a bit hunched over constantly, and you just don't really think about it. When you actually focus on your shoulders and you just let go, untense your muscles, that is letting go of tension essentially. You can do this by going muscle for muscle, tensing your arms and then untensing and feeling your stomach and letting it bulge out and literally just being completely relaxed, not tensing anything up. Meditation can be traced back thousands of years to India, and they had the idea of chakras, which run along the base of your spine right to the top of your head, and energy flows between these by having your chakras be unblocked. That comes from yoga and meditation and not having them blocked by energies to be able to feel free so it can all flow together. This stuff sounds a little bit wishy-washy, but it actually works when you practice it. And Western science is still catching up to some things which people have been doing for thousands of years anyway. And people actually carry trauma like this. People that have trauma that is unprocessed often will have bad posture or will be holding their stomach in, things like that. And when you can learn to let it go, it can be a way to heal trauma, which is something you should look into. You can also make the experience of meditation nicer. What I do is I play some music. It's kind of just ambient sounds, and it just helps keep a calm atmosphere, and it sets the tone nicely. You want to do this as consistently as possible, and consistency really is the key, more so than doing a really long session. So when you're first starting out, maybe do 2 minutes, 5 minutes, And then as you build it up and you do it every day, then build it up to 10 minutes. That's the amount that I do, 10 minutes personally. I don't do this every day, I do miss some days, but I try to have a practice of mindfulness every day and just throughout my general life. If I don't meditate, then I like to go for a walk or spend some time in nature, or just literally lie in the sun without any sort of distractions. Also, the less that we give in to impulses and the more we think rationally by delaying gratification, the more we are practicing mindfulness. So the more you're doing good habits, staying away from bad habits, the more mindful that you're going to be. If you enjoyed this, look into getting my mental health video course. It's linked below. It's just super practical, easy to follow. It's years of wisdom, which is better than my YouTube videos. Check it out below. I hope you enjoyed this no bullshit guide of how you can start meditating and what it's going to do for your life. I'll see you in the next one.